wish I had something more to give you. You've been feeling bad this time of year. If I could, I would drive out to see you. Things are finally looking up for me this time. Take it from me, I'd be lost without you. I try to run away, but you're running up on me faster, and I could barely breathe. I couldn't even turn around. I only hope we make it home safe and sound. Safe and sound. If I had a dime for the days I've spent just trying to unwind, sitting on the steps, I'd buy a star in your name like I heard on the radio. I would buy a brand new house where we can go. Take it from me, I'd be lost without you. I try to run away, but you're running up on me faster, and I could barely breathe. I couldn't even turn around. I only hope we make it home safe and sound. Safe and sound. If I had one wish, I would give it up to be standing here just like this, up on the rooftop. But it's so hard to look down when I see your face. There's no more time to spend, no time to waste. Take it from me, I'd be lost without you. Little girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun never shines. We'll shiver the whole night through. My daddy was a railroad man, killed a mile and a half from here. His head was found in the driver's wheel. His body was never found. In the pines where the sun never shines, we'll shiver the whole night through. You've caused me to weep, you've caused me to mourn, you caused me to lose my home. Little girl, where'd you sleep last night?
Yes.
We wish could be here, but couldn't, and we'll try to talk about as much stuff as we remember.
Who are they now?
To get them. Yeah, they were only the leads on this season. But yeah, we definitely wouldn't be here without them, and they made a lot of amazing decisions that we got to work with on the rest of the season. So.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yes. Hear, hear. They make good video games. All right,
yes.
Let's start. But this is also a good video game.
100 Game of the Year awards.
Over.
That's true. More Game of the Year awards than it seems possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just inventing companies. To
Sean will remember this.
And so begins.
Hey, we're in the Skybound offices right now. Look at that.
What?
Yep.
This has come real full circle.
Seriously.
So all the episode titles, or the title card of The Walking Dead, I remember having different colors, which was a Jake thing planned out from the beginning. Random detail that I didn't know when I was working on episode 2, and I changed the color, and then he came to me and went, "Why are you not doing the thing we're supposed to do?" I was like, "Oh, whoops."
There he is.
That's good.
Wow, there he is.
There's Sean Vanneman.
Hey.
Sean Vanneman.
Yay. Hey, Jake, Sean.
I like Sean's Vanneman. Hey, there's Mark Barbalak.
Oh, yeah.
Who's also the legal counsel for
Yes,
Telltale.
the attorney for Telltale Games.
This, the rearview mirror shot, weirdly, was like the most complicated technical thing we'd ever done in the Telltale engine at the time.
Isn't there like an entire second lead just sitting outside the side of the car when we see the shots of him reflected in the window?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
With just like a render constant alpha low or something. Yeah. But I remember hearing the pitch for this and thinking that starting in the back of a cop car on your way to jail was a pretty awesome setting for starting a game, and immediately people just getting invested and wanting to figure out
what's
going
happening.
on.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
I love all the little
past?
things you see out the window, too.
Yeah, this is a good looping.
I feel like that was the station wagon that the stranger has in episode 2 that we just passed.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's probably just a reuse of we needed car models at the time.
I think we added him in the collection.
He's
one version
passing
of this,
in the wrong lane.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure from
That's
a
awesome.
design standpoint, the idea of starting really limited for people in you just get control over the camera to sort of get comfortable with moving it around before you're actually in free walks and having to navigate in space as well. Yep. I think Eric Parsons worked on all of this stuff for a long time. Typically at Telltale, the first scenes of any game go under extreme amounts of scrutiny. So
That's me on the radio.
Was that you?
Yeah.
You're all over
I'm
the
the
place.
answering machine. I'm the radio. I take the big gigs.
There are no small parts,
There
only
are.
small actors.
That's right.
Man, I got paid a lot for that, too.
He's got a bit of his own agency as a character. He's not totally just the player.
You know what I remember is doing this first episode. 20 minutes in, I was like, "Wow, this is really good. This is good writing."
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I was really happy that I got this gig.
as we
I think
we
we're
all
all
are.
really
Yeah,
happy that you
Yeah.
got this
And
gig.
what was great is those were the days
very
when
mutual.
we flew them up, and so Dave would stay in Fairfax at the inn.
At the one hotel.
and you introduced me to all your radio buddies, like Dave Padilla.
Oh, Dave Padilla.
We partied with Dave.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. When I
kinda
was on the radio on KSOL in the Bay Area in the 80s, Dave was my news guy.
That's so funny. He's still, I hear him all the time.
Oh, yeah. KCBS.
It's good.
There you go.
And you know, you can't just say man. You really got to get that feeling. Man.
Achieved. You achieved.
Some of your finest acting work.
I definitely remember excitement around the office when there was a big search to find a Lee character, and it was a long, hard journey. And then I remember as soon as, oh god, now everything's coming off the rails.
Oh,
I can just keep going.
look out.
As
Help.
soon as we heard your voice in audition, everybody, it was just like the whole office was like, all right, cool, cast, done.
That's
Like, and it was
him.
like amazing moment.
Well, we found Dave because he played a character in a Law and Order game, right?
Yeah.
We played
Right.
Montrose.
Montrose.
I was
A villainous
a
self-help guru.
crooked politician.
Yep.
Well, and then also with Melissa as well, I remember in the early days, like Sean talking about how like nothing will work in this game if we don't have a good Clementine, and that was like the
Exactly.
big worry.
So
It was just
true.
like there's got to be someone to balance out like the strength that Dave brings for his performance, and like obviously just having someone who can really embody that character and make her not feel like the typical video game kid, which all other video game
Right.
like children were till that
Weren't
time.
you guys
so.
also auditioning
Well, I was
going to
say we did that. Yeah, and I have a bunch of them that I listened to, and they're all kids, but they could never have the
Emotional range.
gravity that
It's a pretty
that you needed some
heavy
wisdom in
Yeah.
there. It gets heavy.
This is a kid that goes through a lot.
Well, and also just the aging over the seasons.
Right.
You know,
Which wasn't known that
Like-
would happen, actually.
Yeah.
I don't
but
think that
just
was the
imagine
intention
if a kid had
going into
you know
season 1.
gone off to college or something, and wait, we need you in this game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You can't go to college.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather personally voice acting college.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
choose
mean, come
voice
on.
acting, but that's just me, and that's what I did.
Well, and I think
Boom, that's my story.
on a developer side too, Sean and Jake from like the very early days always sort of talked to the team about, treat Clementine as an adult. Like
Yeah.
think of her as that as opposed to a kid when you're making choices. And it definitely was a thing that made all the difference in the world because people
Right.
immediately throw out all the tropes you think and then like really sort of get your head into the character when you're sort of doing animation stuff or putting together the cinematics and
Well, and what you're speaking on as far as the children, you really see that, especially when she's reflecting in scenes with Duck.
Yes.
Duck
Yeah, totally.
is that
Yeah.
kid that
Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
he was the kid that
I'm gonna
Lee
drive the
found, it would be like,
tractor.
yeah.
yep.
Okie dokie, Duck.
This is a great. I
Yeah.
love this whole scene.
It's such a good like horror setup.
Yeah, it's
Here, let me go help this this cop that was driving. He looks injured.
You know what's interesting about this, and Dennis and Kent, I might be totally wrong,
It's a
but
cop.
not too many people at Telltale were actually watching, and here I am sitting in Skybound. We're not. This is like really. There wasn't like hardcore, like I watch the show.
I know,
every
and we
week.
were-
It was
we would
all
we were
comic
watching it.
book.
Hadn't the show
Yeah.
just started?
It was
Yeah.
like going
around the
into
time
the
this game
second
coming out?
season because
wasn't-
I was a fan of the show.
yeah,
The show had been on how many seasons?
I think it was going either finishing second season or going into the second season.
yeah. And it was great. Like I was watching it. I actually only meant to watch a few episodes to like get. We were still doing sound at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and just to see how they did the ambiances and what the zombies sound like, and then I got hooked on it.
Right. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I was watching it, but not a lot. But it was a show that I was sampling because everybody was, oh, well, you got to watch the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Right. No, it was.
And then I really did when this audition came up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember episode 1 or 2, Rolling Stone magazine came out and said the game is better than the TV show.
yeah. I remember.
Drop your mic. Just knock
Yeah.
it over right now. Boom.
Then it's something I want to ask about here. I remember this part being. I remember at one point the entire game was first person,
Yeah, so
and there was some kind of a somewhat kind of late change.
one of the things that's relevant to bring up is one of the early sort of conceits of the game, where I remember Sean and Jake talking a lot about how like players never care about their character dying because they're going to come back in 20 seconds after the load
Right.
screen. But investing in time in other characters to make it seem like they could die at any time was sort of like the big twist of what made this game really interesting.
And
is
it
'cause
was.
you're
I
always-
think it's what people really got invested in these characters more than I'd ever seen on
For sure.
anything. Yeah.
It's funny because when we would go to, and it still happens, to go to conventions, and we were able to do some together, what people would say is, I've never cared about characters in a video game before.
Right.
And then you and Clementine
Oh yeah.
made me cry.
I saw you. We were at what was Dragon Con Atlanta. You were talking to someone, and someone was coming up to our line, and he just heard your voice. And this is a grown man, and he stood there, and he just started to like tears out of his eyes, cry.
That's because I
Just
owed him
hearing-
money.
But no, it's to see this effect. It's. I mean, people share like the craziest
Yeah.
stories of how this game has taken them through like the
Yeah.
shittiest of times, or they've met their best friends, or tra la la. Like so many like
I've
crazy
met,
stories.
I've met people who didn't have a dad, that said Lee became their surrogate father.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I've cried. I've cried at conventions.
Yeah.
I've reached points where people tell me things that I'm just, it's overwhelmingly moving.
I remember you both and a couple other people saying that too, that when you experienced that, it was really surreal at first too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, as far as working with Telltale, because I go way back with Telltale games, you know, and most of the characters I've played have all been comedy, too. So this was the first, you know, well, not even with Telltale. This is the first game I worked on where there's just so much emotional depth and story. And
I had been on a bunch of games, but this was clearly the best script that I had done, and it had the most interaction with other characters, and just...
Well, and this will probably be a great time to mention, and not just because you're in the room, Julian, but he, I mean, beyond The Walking Dead, any game I've ever worked on with you or any project, but when you read with us, because obviously we don't record together, actors in the same room together, and you directing us, you really performed, which is amazing, because you'll have someone read lines with you sometimes, but you read the lines, because, you know,
that's a good point.
An actor.
And well, we didn't have feeders then. Literally the first actor to go set the tone for the whole damn episode. Right. And so, that's where we would, because I always would work closely with Dennis or Sean or whoever was in the booth with me. And we would say, like, this scene is really quiet. Or they're 20 feet away, so I would try to mimic that.
But it is a good point to bring up, because I remember, like, we would, as sort of like the dev team, be in a session, it's like Julian all day, and 3 or 4 different actors would come in, and we're just going through like this 10-hour marathon.
Totally.
But at 6 p.m., like, Julian's still like giving it his all, like reading all the other parts against it, and we're just like, I was just tired sitting there.
Yeah. So Rebecca Schweitzer, I just have to mention that the answering machine, it's such a small part of this first episode.
That's
and she
her
just
audition.
Nailed it. And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's her audition, and it was used in the game. And it was also used in a trailer, and it was one of the most effective trailers that I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was the first time where we took an audition, and then we went back to the agents and said, "Oh, and that's me as the answering machine voice."
Nice.
If we were drinking right now, we'd do shots every time we hear Julian.
I'm still spending those 20s. That was a good one. But Rebecca, and we processed the audition and then went back and said, you got the role. You never have to come in. You're done.
That's awesome.
That's always a nice call.
Don't want to see you, but
yeah, exactly.
We're going to use your voice.
Awesome.
I love
we
those.
might send you a check.
I love how the messages too. I just heard them when we were at the office with Kent the other day. Just how they progress. Oh, there's some crazy guy at the ER or whatever, and I love how she just covers the entire apocalypse in 4
It's a very efficient zombie apocalypse story in like 3 lines, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Message 2, left at 11:19 p.m.
Oh my God, finally. I don't know if you tried to reach us. All the calls are getting dropped. They're not letting us leave and aren't telling us anything about Atlanta. Please, just leave the city and take Clementine with you back to Murrieta. I've got to get back to the hospital. Please let me know that you're safe.
Message 3, left at 6:51 a.m.
Clementine, baby. If you can hear this, call the police. That's 911. We love you. We love you.